Which brings us to the next question in our investigation. Why is the sheriff calling his daughter? Again, this is just moments before the shooting. Why? Here to help answer that question, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, author, and columnist, Dr. Carol Lieberman. Great to have you both here. Let's roll the video so we can take a look at this moment because it's significant. This is after the FaceTime. Now he's got his phone first and tries to call his daughter. Then he gets the phone from the judge, and the judge just hands him his phone, and then he opens it up. He's got to get, I guess, the code to open it up. He apparently does that, or is attempting to do that. And now has to call his daughter, and I guess he's got her number in his phone. So like all of us, we don't have anyone's phone number memorized anymore because we just press one button. So he's copying the number and now calling his daughter. As we continue to watch this, Elizabeth, we don't believe that he made contact, do we? Because he does hold the phone up to his ear. Do we know if he made contact?
I don't know if he made contact with his daughter or not. The only one that I know that he talked to was his aunt. But, you know, watching this video, it looks like he's talking to somebody unless he's talking to the judge.
Right, right. So in light of everything that we're learning here, the concern about the kidnapping, and then this is just moments before the shooting, Dr. Carol Lieberman, why do you believe he would be calling his daughter from his phone and then from the judge's phone?
Well, you know, first of all, nobody really wants to say because you don't want to say something bad about the dead, and you don't want to. The judge could have been doing something inappropriate with the sheriff's daughter. But in that video that you played, if you go on a little further, the attorney who was asking the question said, do you intend to obtain records from the daughter's cell phone? And Clayton said, possibly, yes. And then the attorney said, and he said, could be? He said, did you intend to, or did you just respond to my question? So in other words, and so then Clayton says, should be on the judge's phone too. She's statements of what occurred during those conversations. So it's interesting that an investigator for this case wasn't planning necessarily to look at the daughter's phone or to investigate what those calls were all about. So there's some mystery about that. In addition to that, what else could he? So he could be calling his daughter to find out, to ask her about if there's anything that happened with the judge. Clearly what set him off was his deposition, because he was being sued because one of his deputies was involved in a sextortion plot where the events were happening in the judge's office. So, and he had a panic attack during the deposition, and it was after that he wasn't sleeping, and so he went into this panic, and also was worried about whether his wife and daughter were going to be kidnapped. I mean, there were a lot of things going on. One thing I can tell you for sure, I watched 2 hours of the sheriff from the time that he was brought into the hallway to the time that he arrived at the jail. And I can tell you that he was not faking it, that he was very much paranoid, that he was very much terrified that they were going to kill him.
And Dr. Carol Lieberman, when we get to a trial here, what it may ultimately be about is, and it will be about his state of mind, but whether or not he believes in his mind that his wife and daughter are in danger because of the judge.
Yes, and because people he might have had to say or thinks that he will have to say at the depositions, things that people in the courthouse, including the judge, wouldn't want him to say. So that's why I think he thinks that he's being threatened.
Dr. Carol Lieberman, I just want to follow up one more time. Your observations of the sheriff, which are so important here, in the immediate aftermath of all of this, you are seeing someone who is legitimately in an altered state of paranoia.
Yes, I mean, for as long as I was watching it, I watched the whole video, and it was a little over 2 hours. And for the whole length of the time, there was not one time when it seemed like this was inauthentic. And in so many different ways. He didn't want to go into the room. They wanted to interrogate him in the room near where he was sitting. He wouldn't go into the room because he thought he'd be killed they would kill him if he went into that room. Similarly, he was asking about the body cameras. I hope you have your body cameras on, because he wanted to make sure, he was worried they would kill him there. But if they had their body cameras on, he'd be a little safer, perhaps, he thought. All the way to the jail, he was saying the same thing. I know you're going to kill me. I know. And it wasn't like you're going to kill me because you know I killed the sheriff, the judge, and so I'm going to get a death sentence. It wasn't that. It was that they were going to be killing him for some other reason, perhaps related to the deposition, perhaps something else. And, he and his wife had a fight the night before he killed the judge, or allegedly, or well, we saw it. The night before he killed the judge, he had a fight with his presumably why he was a
lot of moving parts to all this. By the way, Dr. Carol Lieberman, you better stand by the phone. You may be getting a call from the defense team tonight after that analysis, and you may be flying to Kentucky to testify. Thank you so much, Dr. Carol Lieberman.